This was a very, very unexpected decision, I think. There was literally 3 hours in between the reporting of her getting fired and then her getting fired. When I woke up this morning, I started to prep for the show I started to prep for the show today. I made the bullet point in my Google Doc, reports of Pam Bondi being fired, something to that degree. I spent the day with my nieces, and then by the time I fucking came home, in fact, while I was out with them, we got this news. My friend texted me and said, "I am hearing that Pam Bondi is stable. Please God." And I was like, "No fucking way, Trump actually did it." But first,
I'm laughing to the bang line. I'm laughing at the same time.
shout out to James Worthy for giving us one of the greatest memes of all time. R.I.P. Bozo. R.I.P. Pam Bondi. Pack watch. I'm smoking on that Bondi pack because fuck this lady, man. Fuck her. She's always been a tremendous piece of shit. And that was further, and she was put on the national stage being named as the attorney general. This woman refused to prosecute anybody from the Epstein files. This woman refused to release the Epstein files until she was literally forced to. And even then, she was unable to give us all of the evidence. This even goes back 17 years when she refused to prosecute Jeffrey Epstein as the Attorney General of Florida. Pam Bondi is a disgusting, reprehensible piece of shit who should have never even have been considered for attorney general. She is a quack lawyer. She was appointed to that position solely because she was a Trump loyalist. In fact, this tweet that you are looking at right now highlights that. This is courtesy of Ken Delanian. Pam Bondi was fired largely because Donald Trump grew dissatisfied with her inability to deliver on prosecuting his perceived enemies, sources tell me. Her allies find that reasoning frustrating because they say she was hampered by the legal system, not by any unwillingness on her part. Critics say the whole project was corrupt and that she, quote, took a sledgehammer to the Justice Department and its workforce, in the words of one former federal official. It's no surprise that the DOJ, the FBI, all of federal law enforcement is unable to do their job properly with these massive cuts and tremendous incompetency that are rampant throughout the agency in Trump 2. Pam Bondi is a further example of that. She was the top law enforcement official in the country, the top legal professional in the country, I should say that. And she again rose to that position because Donald Trump wanted her to weaponize the Department of Justice. That very same thing that he criticized Joe Biden for doing. I'm not surprised by this. Donald Trump is a vindictive asshole himself. The reason that he became president, I think, is twofold. He wanted to gain diplomatic immunity from all of his possible crimes, and he wanted to prosecute everyone who he perceived as an enemy. There were, fuck, man, I don't even know the amount of pardons or the amount of cases that were dropped under Pam Bondi's Department of Justice. One of them is the Live Nation Ticketmaster antitrust lawsuit, which got thrown out, which continues to allow this tremendous monopolization of live entertainment. Just really, really sickening behavior from the Justice Department, who aren't even the fucking Justice Department anymore. They're the goddamn Injustice Department. I know, but really fucking hot steaming joke with that one. In her place, we have Todd Blanche, who is not only the Deputy Attorney General, but is Donald Trump's personal lawyer. Todd Blanche is most famous for saying that we are not going to prosecute anybody connected to the Epstein files, which is just absolutely fucking phenomenal. That's what I want to hear out of the top legal official. That's what I want to hear out of the lawyer in the United States of America, is that we are not going to go after any of these criminals because they're the president and they are implicated. with the president. Forget what you even think about the Epstein files. Regardless of whether you think these people are guilty or not guilty is up to you. We can at least hopefully agree on the need for there to be investigations, for there to be prosecution, so that we can actually know whether or not these heinous crimes were actually committed. And also, so that way, if these crimes were committed, that the people who perpetuated them are brought to justice and that the victims are able to receive closure for all of the trauma that they endured. But no, we're not going to fucking get all of that. We didn't get it with Pam Bondi. We're not going to get it with Todd Blanche either. I'm not, I'm not a fucking naive in that regard. What's interesting is the two people that have been fired from Trump's administration are both women. They're both female. It was, of course, Kristi Noem and Pam Bondi. Guys, Donald Trump might be a misogynist. I don't know. I'm not sure, man. He might be misogynistic. I'm being facetious. I know Donald Trump is a misogynist. I think that misogyny definitely plays a role in this as well as incompetency. The only reason I'm speculating that is because how the fuck does Kash Patel still have a job? Kash Patel is objectively stupider than Pam Bondi. He is objectively worse at his job than Pam Bondi or Tulsi Gabbard. Every investigation that the FBI has been involved in, that Kash Patel has personally been involved in, has been flubbed. It's been flummoxed. Charlie Kirk, the biggest one, the biggest investigation of Donald Trump's second term was fucked up personally by Kash Patel. And yet he still has a job. Dan Bongino was not fired. At least I don't know. He wasn't fired. I don't remember. He resigned. Dan Bongino, also gravely incompetent, deeply stupid, was not fired. He resigned. Like, I'm just saying, if it looks like a duck, walks like a duck, and it says that they hate women, it might be a misogynistic duck. Pack watch to Pam Bondi. I'm really curious to see what's going to happen with her going forward. I don't care enough to read her statement. I don't think that she's worthy of my time. But I had a hot take last week or within the last couple of weeks where basically, in my estimation, the political careers of everybody involved in this second Trump administration are basically fucked because of how deeply unpopular this administration is and how destructive this administration is. All of the people involved with it play a role in this depravity, in this cruelty, and I truly think that it's going to be really difficult for these people to find work in the public sector going forward. I have no doubt in my mind that some sleazy law firm is going to hire Pam Bondi, but we'll see. I'm really curious to see what her reputation looks like going forward, what her legacy is like going forward, because it's not like she's holding bloodlust. She's like 50 years old, maybe 60. But I think that she's relatively young. But yeah, pack watch Pam Bondi.